Badlands. Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Everywhere you go, your manners are with you, and they leave their mark. They help you feel sure of yourself, too, and they make an impression on people.
Demonstrators wreaked havoc in Washington, D.C. and destroyed storefront windows.
It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation.
Make political commitments to curb population growth.
We didn't simulate this. We didn't practice.
What the hell do they let the reporters in there for?
MK Ultra.
8 million adults are affected by it.
Don't try it.
There will be no outcome that leaves Saddam Hussein in power.
A brand new group called ISIL.
We're speeding up training of ISIL forces.
The one person who wasn't random was the security guard.
America was founded as a constitutional republic.
50 incumbents out. State citizens to Washington.
I will totally obliterate the deep state. We will obliterate the deep state.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Altered State. Once again, in the role of Brad Getz is my good friend Jordan Sather. I posted something about this earlier and I said, no CIA spy makeup or clones required. This is just
I don't
Jordan
need makeup, man. This
as
is
a
my
method actor.
dead face.
Doing good. Jordan, did you finish your dinner?
I got one piece left. Can I eat it?
Go for it. Go for it.
Awesome. Zach and I are going to start a show called Steaks and Vapes.
Right on. I love it. I love it. Good evening, everybody out there in the chat. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Brad is still taking care of family business back in New Jersey, so he will be back next week, I believe. I'm pretty sure. This is now the third week. Yeah, this is the third week that Brad's gone, so he will definitely be back next week. And we had a pretty good response. People enjoyed seeing us get together and chat about the old days. I feel like anytime we're on a show together, we start thinking about what it was like before the big one, before the war that took everybody out. Like, I imagine people before and after the Depression and the conversations they used to have, or like before and after World War II. That's kind of how I feel when we're together.
Good old days, man.
Right.
Before Hunter Biden laptop drop day.
Okay, listen to this. Listen to this. This guy has been emailing me like incessantly, telling me that, like, God, you've got so many episodes, but you're ignoring the possibilities that come with YouTube. YouTube is the future of online podcasts. And now I guess YouTube has, like, they've gotten rid of Google Podcasts and they've integrated it with YouTube. And so now all the YouTube podcasts all go directly onto YouTube. And he just keeps sending me these emails about, like, hey, we can help you leverage this incredible opportunity. And
bro, do you know what happened back then?
Yeah, I ignored them until today. I finally replied, and I was like, Lucas, I was like, I was deleted from YouTube October 15th, 2020 for politically protected speech, reporting on the Hunter Biden laptop. I had over 800 episodes on the platform at that time. I said, unless you have some super secret connection that I don't have access to and you can help me get back on YouTube, then I don't think we have anything to talk about. I was like, they will not let me back on the platform.
Can't do it, man.
Is what it is. I honestly, I'm fine with it. And, to be honest, we are on YouTube tonight. We're on the Badlands Media Clips channel. So as long as we don't mention anything that is misinformation, but we're not going to be talking about misinformation.
Vaccines, climate change.
Yeah, we're going to be spitting facts about that. Do you know? This is the thing. I do know where the spam button is, and I had already directed them to the spam folder. I don't understand, like, how people do this, but, like, stuff that I have directed to spam, maybe like once every 10 emails, one of the emails will make its way into my inbox. And then other times, like, things that I don't want to go to the spam folder are going to the spam folder. Maybe it's the intricacies and the imperfections of Proton. But
oh, that's where all my love notes I'm sending you are going.
well, that's why I'm not getting them, because they're in the spam folder.
I'll just handwrite them. Like the good old days.
You can send me a letter. I have a letter here that I keep forgetting to read. So I'm going to read it tonight, because this is from a Badlander as well as a red pillion. I really don't know what to call
red
them.
Pillion.
Yeah. A red pillar. RPN fam. I don't know. I don't know what to call them.
Pillanista.
There you go. I don't have. But this is from Terry. And you may have met her as well, because she basically said, thanks for all that you do. And thanks to Lisa. She sent a donation. So, Terry, thank you so much. And she said, sincerely, Miss Terry, older gray-haired gal hobbling around with a sorry cane. and I remember you, Terry. I definitely remember you. So I don't know I don't remember which GART she was at, but I know that we definitely met. She was super sweet. You don't remember meeting her?
What's that?
I said you don't remember meeting her?
If she was in front of me, I'm sure I'd remember, but
okay. Well, I also wanted to show you something else here, Jordan. This is a 3D printed talking Kamala Harris action figure that another viewer sent me.
Press the button. Into the microphone.
I will. But look at this. He actually 3D printed my logo on the bottom. And, of course, the focal length on the camera makes it difficult to zoom in. But yeah,
what do I have to show?
He also hand painted it. And okay, so she says a whole bunch of things. Let me show you.
You're fake news.
Well, hi there, little nugget. I'm going to be the first black female president of the United States of America.
Okay, there's one.
We have dreams. We can see what is possible, unburdened by what has been.
Oh my God.
Okay, here we go.
Well, first of all, thank you for the question. I hope your family is okay and your home is okay.
It wasn't.
I knew y'all were in town. I couldn't let it go without coming by to say hello.
Oh my God.
Guten Tag, Sie lieben ein Bratwurst, da.
Okay, hold on.
A bonjour, you have a croissant.
I'm their children and I'm their mamala.
Oh man.
There's more. It has, I don't even know how many things it says, but it also says on the front, we did it, Joe. I'm pretty sure it says we did it, Joe.
We did it.
Yeah.
I got this one. I got a button.
Fake news.
Listen, you're fake news. You're fake news.
I do, of course, have a talking Donald Trump doll. Okay. He says 17 things. This is, and that's, of course he does. And this came out, I think this is from The Apprentice.
Brand yourself and toot your own horn.
It's all like motivational things. Like, do you remember, what was that store at the mall that all they had was like the office artwork that had like things to motivate you? Successories.
Not familiar with that one.
God, you're too young, I guess. Jeez, oh Pete. You can, people in the chat have got to remember.
Or my hometown mall was Ghetto. And
I suppose that could have been
Successories,
but I'm pretty sure it was Successories. Anyways, every white collar office job I ever worked at, they had artwork from these people on it. It would be like a sort of general bland landscape photograph. And then there would be this inspirational quote on the bottom. Like, remember.
Was that what inspired those demotivational posters?
Yes, that's exactly what inspired it, because these were
the early, like they were the first memes before memes were memes, the demotivational posters. Yeah.
Yes, that's exactly where it came from. So, yeah, I'm an old school internet fag right there with that knowledge. But so this was great. This was Donald Trump. I love Donald Trump. And I love having him sit back here. He's actually in a popcorn box. And he stands there and he guards my AR. And I always say,
yeah. What kind of guns we got on your shirt tonight, man?
So there's a couple of revolvers on here. Let me
the
see.
Revolver shirt.
Let me see if I can get close.
I've never shot a revolver.
You know,
Very
there's
nice.
there's obviously, I think that's like an MP5 right there, and then there's definitely a revolver someplace, and then there's just some bullets. Oh, there's also grenades up there. Yeah, this
Dude.
So
I was have you ever heard of the YouTube channel called Task and Purpose?
Absolutely, yes, I subscribe.
So the original guy that kind of built up that channel, his name was Cappy.
Yeah, he's on his own now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's on his own. He started his own channel.
Yeah.
And now the videos he's doing are way better. And he did a video the other day of the next generation Army grenade launcher that they're researching. And it's basically, this thing's incredible. It can shoot 500 yards, whereas the grenade launchers, like on the bottom of M16s, horribly inaccurate. They can only go about 100 yards. This is an semi-automatic shoulder-fired grenade launcher. It can shoot 500 yards in a straight trajectory, and it has a magazine capacity of like 12, 15. I mean, this thing's a chonky bastard, but one person can carry it.
I think I found it. So you can tell me if this is it. Is this it?
No.
No. Oh,
but
dang.
that might be like one version of it.
Look, it's got a mag. It's got
Yeah.
a grenade
Yes.
mag.
That might be like one version of it. But basically, they have like 3 different kinds of rounds. One is like it's kind of like birdshot, buckshot, slug for the military, like explosive rounds, and armor penetrating rounds, things like that. But they're developing the grenades to be able to fire at explode at certain distances, so they can program the distance they want the grenade to explode into their gun, and they shoot it. So if enemy is hiding behind cover or behind a wall, they can explode the grenade right next to the enemy and just obliterate everything behind whatever. So the gun or the grenade, the ammo bases this by how many times it rotates. So the little computer in the grenade will figure out how many times it rotates, and then that's how it figures to explode. And it's like it can take out, I think, things with a thick, an inch thick armor. So armor personnel carriers and all kinds of stuff. Man, there's so much cool stuff that the military's working on, and
no doubt,
pretty sweet. I want one.
So here I've just pulled up some Google images of next gen grenade launchers. You can tell me if if any of these are them. But
dude, I saw it in the Cappy video.
Yeah, I'll have to find it.
Yeah.
So I definitely saw a video recently about these sort of like advanced grenade shells that they were developing. It might have actually been at a gun show, like SHOT Show or something like that. But yes, like each different type would do something specific and would be for a unique purpose, and it seemed pretty sweet. This, I mean, I would take any of these, to be perfectly honest with you. Like, let's just any grenade launcher of any type. If I had it, I would be totally cool with it. This one appears to be pretty badass. The XM25 counter defilade target engagement system, the Punisher. This is from 2017. So
no, I found it here. Type in Barrett Smart Grenade Launcher. It's made by Barrett, the same guys that make the 50 cal. Barrett Smart Grenade Launcher. That's it.
I actually, this is the dude's channel that I saw it on before, right here.
Oh yeah, I've seen that guy before. Yeah. So that's the Smart Grenade Launcher, where they can program when they want the grenade, the explosion to go off. Pretty cool. Also,
I gotta change this tab.
Hey everyone, James Reeves, TFB TV here at SHOT Show 2025, looking at the Squad Sport rifle system. Really excited for this to come to the consumer market in first quarter of 2025. Go down to your local gun store, pick this up. I've got Andy telling us about the Squad Sport rifle system. What is this?
Yeah, so I think it'll be a few years before you can buy it at Bass Pro Shop or something. But so this is for the U.S. Army. It's for a requirement they call the Precision Grenadier System, PGS. So it's a counter-defilade weapon. So people behind walls in a building. And so this has a programmable
when you really
airburst
need
round.
to kill someone who's
So
undercover.
there'll be a
Indeed.
optic on top. It'll determine the distance. It'll program this round. The soldier can adjust
Wow.
where in flight he wants it to detonate.
Right.
And then
That's so cool.
goes and kills the target. So there was a program called XM25.
Right. That was a while ago.
It was killed. It was 25 millimeter. It never quite had the lethality that the Army was looking for. It had some other issues, which I think they would have gotten through. But so this is a rethinking of that program. This will start as an official Army program in 2026.
Why do you think that this rifle, well, I'm calling it a rifle. I mean, what do I even refer to this counter defilade system? I hate a defilade, so I love to see a good counter.
I would wonder how much
What do I
recoil
refer to
that
this
thing
as?
has.
So this is a Precision Grenadiers program, but
it might be a situation where they have like a special harness or something on it, maybe even with like some sort of like active recoil engagement system so that it like moves, or maybe it's going to be mounted on something. But I mean, it can't be that bad, to be honest with you, just because I mean they obviously have a buttstock, so it looks like you can just hold it and just shoot it. I don't know.
But if they're trying to shoot something that weighs as much as a grenade 500 yards in a linear, I mean, it's got to have some kick to it, man.
It must.
Yeah. Also, I sent you a couple more articles while we're just shooting the crap about new Army military stuff.
Ooh.
So another video that Cappy did like yesterday was talking about how the Army is learning from the war in Ukraine and how much drone warfare there is and how much electronic warfare there is too. So the U.S. Army is sort of completely redesigning how their recon units operate.
Yeah.
And they're
I heard these guys are like on the fly in the field, pulling consumer products together and creating like brand new things just because they need to.
Pretty much. But basically they're doing away with tanks. So they're realizing that what the best recon units are going to be able to do now, what they need is mobility and they need tech.
Okay.
And tanks are very slow. All these armored personnel carriers, very slow.
Right.
So what they have these experimental recon teams that the Army's testing out, and they're not using tanks. They're not using armored personnel carriers. They basically have designed, I'm going to see if I can find the, it's like kind of a Humvee with no doors.
Ooh.
And it's kind of triggered some people in the Army, the like old school tank warfare guys. They're thinking, how can these soldiers be protected and all that? But the thing is, they're recon guys. So they're not designed to be in tanks, slow moving things. They're trying to get in and get out as quick as possible. So they developed these new 4-wheel all-terrain vehicles for these teams. And basically these recon teams are going to be made up of 3 squads. One squad is going to be the targeting squad. So they're going to go out with lasers and intelligence gathering equipment to basically pinpoint where the GPS bombs need to go off at the advancing enemy. One team is going to be the electronic warfare unit. So they're going to have the jammers. If you've got any drones coming, they're going to jam the drones or send out counterattack drones. And the third squad is going to be the robotics squad. So they're going to have little, like a mini radio-controlled robot that they can send out if any enemies are advancing on their position. And it has a machine gun equipped to it. So it's a machine gun robot. It's freaking fascinating how they're completely redesigning these recon units.
I saw that they're also using drones because they need to have like an extended range for these drones, and there's only so far that they can go and still be controlled by the remotes. They are using fiber optic tethered drones now, which means that they can go much farther. But obviously, if you see a fiber optic drone go by, all you got to do is wait under cover until
cut the wire. Yeah,
and then cut the wire after it goes by. But yeah, I've definitely seen plenty of stuff about like dog bots and various hunter killer machines and.
Oh, that's what they're calling this recon unit. They're calling it the Hunter Killer Recon Unit.
Okay.
And it's like all the kids joining the army to do, thinking they're gonna sit behind a computer in a comfy air-conditioned unit, being like a drone operator. Nope, they're going to the friggin' front lines.
I'm gonna look and see if they've got video of that Barrett 30 millimeter smart grenade launcher actually being shot. But dude, I don't think so.
It would be so much fun to be a part of this hunter killer platoon. Like, you're just on the move all the time, flying drones, and it'd be so much fun.
It'd be pretty sweet. Okay, so this is a 6-shot rotary grenade launcher that is pretty badass. It's got a barrel, drum,
revolver grenade launcher.
Yeah. This is the M32. So I don't know how big that is. I mean, it looked approximately, it might even be larger than those 30 mil shells that they were firing. Oh, it's a 40 mil shot. Okay, so look, you can see it's not such a big deal firing it from your shoulder, and that Barrett is going to be a smaller shell than these guys.
I think the better picture will be tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be here both days. We're here all day, so.
Well, I would absolutely love to have a grenade launcher. That would be so sweet. Yeah, you can get 50 cal handguns, but like a 50 caliber Desert Eagle is not the same as a Barrett 50 cal rifle. Like
you need the barrel length to get that thing moving.
Yeah. It's a much bigger shell, and I've seen people shoot Barretts before, and it's got a kick, that's for sure. You've definitely got to have a tripod, but you don't have to. Have you ever seen? Do you watch Kentucky Ballistics?
Oh yeah, he almost killed himself with a 50 cal.
That's what I was just gonna say. When he shot that 50 cal and it exploded right next to his face, and had to stick his finger or his thumb inside of his jugular.
Yeah,
that was insane, dude.
Pretty freaking nuts. Yeah, I pass the time with some of those gun tubers now and again, but a lot of them are kind of douchebags. But there's a few that are.
I like Brandon Herrera a lot. Brandon's personality is kind of douchebaggy, but I find him to be very funny, and I definitely wanted him to win.
I like how he's not afraid to get political though and try to do something. Brandon Herrera's cool. Kentucky Ballistics, definitely a good guy. Demolition Ranch doesn't make videos anymore.
No, he quit. I can't believe that. I used to love Demolition Ranch.
And the Outdoor Boys quit, man.
I never followed them, but I did hear that they quit.
Not a gun tuber channel, but man, that was the most wholesome YouTube channel on the internet, man. Outdoor Boys.
I do like Garand Thumb. I think that he does some pretty high concept stuff, and his personality I think is hilarious. You guys want to see Kentucky Ballistics?
On his 15 wives though, so
yeah, there is that. Yeah. Kentucky Ballistics 50 cal exploded.
Grand Thumb's channel was better when he had Charlie and Micah on.
Yeah.
Charlie was the best.
Okay, so here it is.
That's such a rickety 50 cal.
Dude. Well, the ammo that he was using, I guess, was old, and it had been sitting in a closet for a couple of years, and he when he bought it, it was already old. But here, I'll show
high pressure too, and just
oh yeah things. So here he is, the aftermath. You can see how badly he was hurt.
What's up, everybody? My name is Scott, and I'm going to tell you about how my 50 cal exploded, and I almost bit the dust about 2 weeks ago.
Damn.
Right, so I know a lot of you are probably wanting me to explain my injuries, and I'm going to do that, but I think it's best we start from the beginning. I know some of you are going to try to skip around in this video. I highly recommend you stay tuned and listen to all of this. But for those who are going to skip around, let me clear something up first. This was not the Barrett that we tortured tested, and this was a complete. So when I pulled the trigger, the gun exploded almost immediately. So the first thing that went was this cap. And this cap is solid steel, and it is very, very heavy. If you look right here, the threads are sheared off of this gun completely. I spoke with Mark Serbu, and he said that normal pressures are 55,000 PSI. And for those threads to have sheared off and this cap to have just blown off like that, we're looking at over 85,000 PSI. So the cap blows
way
off.
too spicy.
Dang, dude.
That round is way too spicy.
Yeah, way.
Oh, I like Hickok's channel. He's definitely the grandpa.
Yeah.
Colin Noir's pretty cool too. He's all right.
PSR, print, shoot, repeat.
Oh, I love print, shoot, repeat. His songs are so fun.
Yes, they are.
Oh, what's that one about night vision? You got to play it, man. Look up the night vision one.
I will. Before we do that, we do have to give a big shout out to our sponsors real quick. So first of all, need to say thank you very much to our friends over here at CBDistillery, you guys. CBDistillery. Actually, it's this one right here. There we go. All right. So CBDistillery's stock up sale is officially live. With this stock up sale, it is actually the code Rumble, not the code Altered. You can save up to 40% on everything. So if you're struggling with sleep, if you're dealing with daily stress, maybe you need some relief after a tough workout, you must try CBDistillery. They've got natural, plant-based solutions for just about everything. This isn't some low-quality CBD stuff you're going to find at a drugstore or American Eagle or the gas station. This is premium CBD that people swear by. And I know a lot of people out there already love CBDistillery sleep products. That's personally my favorite, so I'm going to be stocking up on that. The sleep gummies, I find them to be exactly what I need when I can't turn my brain off in the middle of the night. But they have other things like the pain stick. They've got stuff for during the day. Pretty much anything that you can think of, CBDistillery has an answer for it. And they make it very easy to find exactly what you need. You can shop by benefit if you're looking for sleep, stress, mood, and focus, maybe pain after workouts. They've even got a solution for pets. And that was obviously very helpful for us when Smokey was getting into the twilight years before she left us. Now, whether CBDistillery is already part of your routine or maybe you're just curious about trying CBD, right now is a great time to stock up and save 40% off. It's the biggest sale of the year. So discover the healing benefits of CBD and save up to 40% on absolutely everything. To do that, you just got to visit the website you see on screen, or you can use that QR code very easily with your phone, CBDistillery.com, and enter the code Rumble. Rumble is the code that's going to give you that 40% off. Once again, CBDistillery.com / use the code Rumble, CBDistillery.com. And just so you're aware, Jordan, it's not available in Idaho. It's also not available in Iowa or South Dakota. And when you go to the website, you will have the opportunity to tell them exactly what state you're in. And if there's any kind of restrictions on your state, then they will already know it and they're not going to waste your time. But it is definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, they got good prices, man. I'm impressed by the prices on their site.
Yes. And then take 40% off, man.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Good stuff.
All right. So you were saying PSR.
Oh, I sent you a link to the print, shoot, repeat song.
Okay. All right.
Probably my favorite gun tuber is Pat Mack. You familiar with Pat Mack?
No, I don't know.
Pat McNamara. He's a former Special Forces guy, retired now, but dude, his tactical knowledge on everything and the way he shares it.
Mm-hmm.
Love Pat Mack's channel. He's been on a few years back. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast and Jocko's. He did a Jocko show. Oh, I love Pat Mack. But oh yes, not yet. This is it. My favorite song ever. Needs a Grammy.
And I apologize if there's any profanity in this. He's a straight shooter. Here we go.
There's no.
I just got something and it's real special. My heart is pounding. It's pounding for this one thing. And that's not it comes. We'll have some fun. I'll grab my guns and then I'll go get my knife. It comes. We'll have some fun. I'll grab my guns and then I'll go get my knife. And it's frightening.
Okay, so for the people who are already confused, let me give you a little bit of background on PSR. PSR stands for Print, Shoot, Repeat. He started his channel as a 3D printed gun channel. Now, years ago, that was totally cool. Okay, nobody said anything. But then obviously the environment got a little bit hotter. And in order to keep his channel and still be able to talk about things, he has found innovative ways to make his channel family friendly, which includes creating sort of boy band style dance songs about what he's going to be talking about. Yes. And what he'll do is he'll start the video with one of these songs. And yes, it's a total parody. It is a parody. And so he'll start the video with those songs and he'll do it for long enough so that the YouTube censors get past it, basically. And he'll be able to slip videos through that way. And that's why he changed the name to PSR, so that he isn't referencing the act of 3D printing. And there's a bunch of them. Like pretty much every video opens up with something like that. And he's great. He's great. So he will, like, you know, build all of these innovative rifles and guns and like lots of things that, you know, if we were talking about them, I think we'd probably get arrested, Jordan. But
depends on what state you're in.
Yeah, it does depend on what state you're in. So
I've shot some 3D printed guns in Idaho before.
Well, I'm thinking more about the Glock switches and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I'm not from Chicago, so I don't know anything about those.
Yes, definitely not good. But yeah, like, you know, like suppressors and just anything you can think of. But he's hilarious. He's honestly got some really great content. He's got a bunch of cool guns, bunch of really cool guns. That's one of the things about Brandon Herrera. I mean, Brandon Herrera, I mean, he's an armorer, right? So I mean, like, he builds guns. He built a 50 cal AK. If anybody has ever heard of the concept, and that's the first 50 cal AK that I've ever heard.
I think he built the first one. Yeah,
he did. Yeah,
because 50 cal is not a very, you know, it's common in NATO countries, but not in Mother Russia. They have their own calibers and all kinds of stuff. So
hi there. My name is Brandon Herrera, and this is my gun, the AK-50.
It's pretty sweet, guys. It's pretty sweet. If you want to see awesome gun stuff, then obviously you want to check him out too. Okay, so I wanted to ask you about this, dude. Well, first of all, tell me about the situation with riots in Idaho. Have they begun in Idaho yet?
Zero. None.
Nothing.
We'll see this weekend the whole No Kings protest.
That's right. I was going to pull that up so we can all check to make sure that we've got a rally to go to this weekend. Now, people were saying, you know, not a good idea. You shouldn't go to any of these things. But I'm going to give you guys 50,000 reasons why you might want to go.
Yeah, I think I might go.
Yeah, and that is for the FBI's most wanted list. All right. So there is a $50,000 reward that's out for the motorcycle concrete chunk guy from LA. He could be anywhere in the United States, guys. Elpidio Reyna. And there's a $25,000 reward for this for this chick. We don't have a picture of her face, but you never know. You might see that pink pussy hat and that particular N95 mask out there in your local community, and you could sidle up and maybe see if throw a little bit of Riz her way, have your iPhone ready, and then you get some footage, and next thing you know, you're picking up $25K. I mean, who couldn't use an extra 25 grand, Jordan?
I wouldn't know how to give liberal Riz.
I mean, I don't even know what Riz means, to be honest with you. I've just heard people use that
get
word.
A soy latte with me?
there
we
you
can
go.
Talk about our feelings and
ask her to go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
All right, and look at this $50,000 reward. He might be in your neck of the woods. Last seen on a reservation in South Dakota. Wilson
South Dakota.
Edison Black Elk Jr.
We'll send John after him. He'll be close.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I apologize. These two gentlemen were killed. These are murder victims. They want 50 grand to identify who it was that killed them.
Oh.
God rest their souls. Let me see what else. Michael Barney Sr. Looks like he's another homicide victim. They're looking to see who might have killed him.
Dude, a lot of these are happening on native lands.
Yeah.
Probably cartel activity.
Let me see. Ooh. Okay. Well, we already know what happened here, right?
Lots of cartel activity on Indian reservations.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Well, here's one. This is down in Louisiana. I know we got some Louisiana patriots in the chat, but they're looking for Joe Matthew Constance. He's a convicted felon wanted for the alleged involvement in the murder of his estranged wife in Calcasieu Parish, Louisiana. And he may have a mustache or he may have a goatee.
We could start a Badlands bounty hunter show.
Bro, I would be there for it. Absolutely. Can you imagine? Can you imagine you and I getting decked out in kit and going out with a camera following us into the lion's den?
I have this like plate carrier chest rig thing, and it looks like a total knockoff mall cop chest rig, and we could totally just LARP the shit out of it and dress up in our best. Go out, do it. Gotta do it for the content, man.
I've got a real vest with like some of the heaviest plates, dude. Like I don't know what these would stop, but they would definitely stop at least 9mm, maybe definitely a 45. I think probably you'd have to get up to a pretty heavy rifle caliber to be able to shoot through them. But you know, anything below a certain point, if you don't want to get shot in the stomach, and obviously that could happen.
We are the Badlands bounty hunters.
Badlands bounty hunters, streaming every weekend or something like that. But all right, so the No Kings protest, obviously, they're kind of getting a head start, right? Because
so this is they're using the same website, the Mobilize website that you remember those hands-off protests from back in April?
I was going to say it looks exactly the same. Yeah.
I went to one of those hands-off protests and I vlogged the whole thing and put it up on my channel, and there was nothing there but freaking old white boomers just mad at Elon and Trump.
It was the same. It was the same down here in my neck of the woods in Florida.
And these protests are the exact same thing of what we saw in April. So I might go to one on Saturday and see what kind of shit I can stir.
Let me see what we got going on in Daytona.
There is one at the Boise Capitol I might go and check out.
Okay, so there's going to be one in St. Augustine. There's one in Palm Coast. There's one in Daytona. And you have to RSVP to get the oh no, this one is going to be at City Hall.
Yeah,
this one you have to RSVP for. In Palm Coast, I guess they don't want you to know until you give them your
your shoot. So some of them you do have to RSVP to get the address.
Yeah. Yes, this one and two in St. Augustine. This event's address is private. Sign up for more details.
Does it have a time though?
9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
They're going to be on either Main Street or at the Capitol building, so just drive around there then. And
so I know in Palm Coast, one of them's in front of Target because that's where it was before. and just like you said, it was a bunch of disaffected, middle-aged Elon haters and TDS sufferers. It was Wasn't like there was a bunch of young kids out there or anything. Daytona, you might have a larger show, but I don't really think so because this is, I mean, we're in a pretty red area down here. All right, so I think people are telling me how to. Texas Drifter 38 says, I'm pretty close to Calcasieu Parish, but I'm not going to any of the protests. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But here, Jordan, tell me. Let's take a look. Let's look at Idaho.
We've got like 4 of them.
Okay. So which one makes sense for you? Idaho Falls, Pocatello, Twin Falls?
Left. Boise.
Boise and Nampa?
Could hit either one of those.
Idaho State Capitol.
Yeah, probably that one.
And then the Nampa City Hall.
Chat says don't go. Man, I mean, I went to the hands-off one, and it was so boring and lame and non-threatening.
Yeah,
I
like
would have.
Yeah, I might question it if I lived near Denver or
Oh yeah,
Austin.
if I was in LA or Chicago or something like that. But
I'm not worried. I wouldn't be worried in Idaho. And
man, there's gonna be so many people packing there that
yeah, everybody's gonna be polite. But I wouldn't, it's also interesting, like when you really dig in, you can see that, I mean, some places you've got more, like here, what do we got? In Colorado, obviously, you've got several, but I mean, they're all kind of like in the same general area. Like, so years ago, my buddy and I, we took a train from Chicago into Denver, and then we rode our bikes north into Rocky Mountain National Park, and then rode back down because there's this like trail you can do the whole way. And then we rolled all the way back down. We were gone for like 2 weeks, basically doing that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. The only thing that wasn't sweet was the Amtrak from Chicago to Denver.
I hate trains. I took a train once to Montana from Washington. It was miserable.
Yeah, we did not get a sleeper. We had to sleep, sitting up in very uncomfortable quarters. And then on the way back, this is something that a lot of people don't know, and I just want to warn anybody, if you've ever like romanticized the idea of riding on a train, if Joe Biden hasn't ruined it for you, or if like the Antifa derailments that took place a couple of years ago haven't soured you on the idea, commuter trains and commercial trains share the exact same railways. Like they've never built up the infrastructure. And so if you're on a rail and there's commercial traffic that needs to get where they're going, then they will stop the train in the middle of nowhere, and the commercial traffic gets to go ahead of you. And that happened to us on multiple occasions, riding the train back from Denver to Chicago. And the first time it happened, we had to wait on the tracks for about a full 12 to 16 hours. And waiting for this commercial traffic to go through. And then there was an incident that took place at a bridge. Like a barge had run into a bridge that the railroad went over. And it was literally in the middle of nowhere. And we had to wait for a structural engineer to come in from the closest city. Maybe they could have been from the Army Corps of Engineers. I'm not sure exactly. But that took a full 72 hours waiting on the tracks in our little seats, no cabin. And by the end of the 3 days, like they wouldn't let anybody get off the train, even though it was just like prairie all around. Everybody wanted to get out so bad. Like people were dying and everybody stunk because none of us in this car were in a sleeper. Everyone, it was awful. It was awful.
We need a map like that No Kings map you were just showing. We need a map like that for Badlands meetups around the country.
I think that would be awesome. Now that's using a plugin.
Get that integrated into the Badlands website. Click meetup map. By the way, any of you guys, I see some of you in the chat in the Boise area. I'm going to very soon work on holding some Badlands meetups in the Treasure Valley here. and I'm going to try to get them held at the Old State Saloon. So if you are in the Boise area and you're listening to this, send me an email through my website, jordanstather.com, and I'll let you know when and where those will take place. But I'm trying to get it at the Old State Saloon. And Zach, have you ever heard of Old State?
Never heard of Old State. What is
Probably
that?
the most based bar you'll ever find. So they're kind of going viral right now because they're holding an event called Heterosexual Awesomeness Month to combat Pride Month. And they're literally holding they're getting the street shut down. I think they've got the okay from the mayor and the city council of Eagle, Idaho to shut down a portion of a street and hold like a parade party for heterosexual people.
That's wild, dude. C-Sus Geochem1 says, I hope Badlands does a baseless conspiracies on FPS Russia and his YouTube, from fake views to the death of his gun dude and his video of himself being kidnapped. I feel there is something there. So I am definitely intimately familiar with the story surrounding the robbery and murder of his buddy. I don't know anything about fake views, and I do know about the fake kidnapping, but I feel like that was kind of just par for the course for YouTube of that era, like the sort of like stunt viral videos where they would fake things. Are you sure he faked views? Because I mean, the dude was, he was the biggest gun tuber for the longest time.
And wasn't that like 15 years ago before there was any tech to fake views?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know when they started coming up with that stuff, but it's an interesting idea. But I definitely don't think that he had anything to do with his buddy's death, and I certainly appreciate the support. But he's still doing podcasts. Like he and his friends have like another channel where they just do a regular podcast, and he doesn't do the Irish accent or the Russian accent. Buck Wayne says first class train tickets to Hawaii are a scam. They sent me coach tickets instead. That's funny. So yes, so the technology they're using on the No Kings website is looks like it's a plug-in platform, Mapbox. So we could be able to implement this.
Oh yeah, I wonder what the prices are. You said it was Mapbox?
Yeah, Mapbox. It's what I got on screen right here. Mapbox.com. Seaside Lady says GART in Eagle, Idaho. So one of the ways that we decide where to do GARTs, it's based upon like population density, and to do one in Idaho, I think it's probably pretty unlikely. Like, going to Deadwood is as close as I think we're going to get.
You could get, I've been looking for a location somewhere in the Pacific Northwest, whether it's Boise area, North Idaho, Western Washington. One of the biggest issues with GARTs is venue, because a lot of venues either A, don't agree with the subject matter.
Right.
And if they do agree with the subject matter, then B, you have to make sure they're cost effective enough for us to be able to hold it there, unless you want to pay $1,000 for a GART ticket, which I don't think you want to do. So we have to find a venue that isn't all that expensive and agrees with the subject material and has lodging around too. That's a big issue, either lodging on premises or very close by hotels, so people have a place to stay. And then, of course, enough people, at least local in the area, or willing to travel there and buy tickets to attend that GART. So that's why typically you find them in Florida. A ton of people in Florida will agree, and a lot of venues there.
Yeah.
And Irvine.
Tamara says, what? Idaho is perfect. I mean, ideologically, politically, I totally agree. But, like Jordan put all of those different factors together. And
gotta find a venue.
Yeah. That's really what it is. There's just so many different things. And, if we have it in a place, depending on where we have it and how big the venue is and how easy it is to do. It all goes together to determine what the price is going to be. And we want to keep it as inexpensive as possible.
I would love to go to the Flathead Valley, but dude, can you imagine the prices of venues in Whitefish or Kalispell? It's going to be insane. I bet we could find a place in the Boise area. There's quite a few hotels around here and whatnot, and there's actually a few kind of in downtown Boise that would probably be cost effective and all that. So
yeah,
I'll throw that idea to John. North Idaho would be a big. I'm sure there's a ton of Badlanders up in North Idaho, and that's not too far from Whitefish anyway. So
okay.
But I've been pushing and dying to have one in the Pacific Northwest because
I have too. I mean, it's like obviously we haven't done one over there, and I think it would make a lot of sense.
It's like the only area of the country we haven't done one. We've done Florida, Boston, Dallas, California, Phoenix, South Dakota, of course. Yeah, we needed the Northwest.
Yeah, because if we did Pacific Northwest, obviously we would draw people in from all of the surrounding areas. I think that, if we can choose a location to make it centralized so that anybody who has to travel, it's not too much of a burden, then I think we could probably make it happen.
Yeah.
Tamara says Coeur d'Alene. Isn't Coeur d'Alene like a big tourist spot? Like, wouldn't that be expensive? I thought that was like skiing and stuff.
Yeah, well, it's real nice in the summer. But the whole Coeur d'Alene, Spokane, it's kind of a big metro valley of a lot of people. There'd probably be venues in at least the Spokane area. Maybe Coeur d'Alene up there. I don't know the price on that area. Boise would be a little, I think, more cost effective than Coeur d'Alene. Plus traveling, you'd have to fly into the Spokane airport probably and then drive for an hour into Coeur d'Alene to get to the venue. Boise's a little easier because you can get right into the airport and downtown's right there.
Right on.
Go to, what's this comment say here? Hold on. Go to Havre. We could take the train. Yeah, if you want to be out in the middle of frickin' nowhere, dude. I've been to Havre because I have a ton of family there. GART and Havre. Oh,
that's funny. Okay, so another thing I wanted to ask you about. Have you heard about this story right here? This is crazy, absolutely insane, and applicable because we used to be on YouTube. But
totally do a camping GART. What do you think of a camping GART?
I would be cool with that, but I don't know that
there would be
everybody
some
else
people that wouldn't be able to do it, but I'd love it.
Cupton likes the Badlands Bounty Hunters idea. All right. So a YouTuber, Manny Ruiz, 41 years old, is facing 2 counts of murder because he was beefing with this other guy on YouTube named Finney. And when they started beefing, it was because Manny was a streamer and Finney would come in and donate to him to get him to do crazy things. And I guess Manny was like a family Las Vegas style YouTuber. Like he would do his life with his family in Vegas and go around. And I mean, he seemed kind of like a cholo, like a Vegas cholo guy. Like, I don't really know how else to describe him, but so Finney he kind of was trolling him. And then eventually he started his own YouTube channel and he sniped all of Manny's viewers and they started watching Finney instead and they stopped donating to Manny. And then they started beefing about this. And then they started striking each other's channels. And Finney's viewers striked Manny a couple of times. He almost lost his channel. And then Finney came out to Vegas and was like trolling him and streaming from the Strip. So Manny goes out looking for him. And while Finney is live streaming to his Twitch channel, Manny shoots and kills him and his wife live on the stream. And it's pretty insane. So you don't actually see anybody die. All right, but here it is. There.
Good morning, Mr. Ruiz. You were arrested for 2 counts of open murder with use of a deadly weapon.
Ruiz is accused of killing Rodney and Tanisha Finley on Sunday nights. They're YouTubers who go by Finny the Legend. An arrest report we obtained says Ruiz shot Rodney twice in the head and several times in the arm. He shot Tanisha in the back of the head. The shooting was captured on the Finny the Legend live stream. Police say the online conflict began Halloween of 2023.
Like, Cholo, don't you think that's applicable?
That's pretty cholo-y.
Yeah, he's a total cholo.
Free.
Yeah.
It was childish. It was crazy. It didn't make it.
Yeah, definitely childish. I mean, I think also a little mean-spirited, if you had to describe it in any way.
Any sense.
Marquise Wiley, a fellow YouTuber, showed up to Ruiz's court hearing. He was following in real time the conflict between the two YouTubers.
It was all about who was the biggest Las Vegas YouTube content creator. And it was just, they was in competition. And when you watch YouTube, you see different creators competing for viewers. That's what I thought it was about. I didn't think it was going to end in violence.
An arrest report says Ruiz fled the scene after the shooting and tossed a murder weapon in the Paris parking garage. Ruiz told police he was acting in self-defense, but investigators did not list in their arrest report any weapons on Rodney and Tanisha Finley.
They might talk about my eye, they might talk about the way I look, but I would never get a gun and shoot somebody. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I don't think that the self-defense argument is going to work, especially since it was being broadcast live and people saw it. And of course, everybody on the strip saw it as well. And, you know, I mean, it just kind of made me think because, I mean, obviously you have all these stupid feuds that come up in the social media world, right? And I've always
had a few.
Yeah, I mean, you know, inevitably they will arise. I've always done my best to stay out of it and like not engage people when they try to bait me, because it's a typical tactic, right? I mean, people want engagement. They want the affirmation of knowing that, you know, you see them and then their viewers see them trolling you, saying shit about you, calling you names or whatever it is. And I've always just completely ignored it. Like, I'm mission focused. Okay. Like, you know, I'm here to do a job and I'm here to speak the truth. And that's always been where my mind is at. And
You're very good at that. Yes.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm completely the opposite.
I still
I've been
love
getting
you,
a
though.
little better though as I grow up.
Well, you've matured, Jordan.
I'll still throw some names out there now and again when it's strategically necessary. I find.
Yes.
This guy's being a clickbait douchebag. He's misleading a lot of people. We got to name and shame this one.
Yes.
But I don't do it as much as I used to.
Yes, that's right. That's right. But, you know, also a lot of those people have kind of just like fallen off because I think that they were always cutouts and inserts, right? I mean, like they're not here with virtuous intentions. And I think that the people who are doing work like this for self-serving reasons rather than supporting the saving of America, right? I mean, like, that's what I think every day. Like, got to get up and save America in whatever small way I can. That's the most important thing to me, because if something happens to this country, if it's allowed to be anything other than a decisive win, all right, then this world will not exist for my child, for your child, for all of the other kids out there, for my family, for the people that I love, for the people in the audience. And I love America, and I've come to appreciate this country so much, and the sacrifice that President Trump has made. Like, just watching him and seeing what he was willing to sacrifice, to me, it's so inspiring. And even to a similar degree with Elon. And I know people might, you know, take issue with that, but when this whole feud started between him and Trump last week, I mean, immediately I was like, this isn't real. This is kayfabe. You know, I don't believe that these two men would do this and be serious about it after everything that we've been through, because President Trump put his life on the line and Elon Musk put his fortune on the line. Somebody in the chat was saying at the time, oh, Elon wouldn't torch his stock like this for a fake argument. But the truth of the matter is, like, from the time that he joined Doge to the time that he left, he torched over $100 billion of his personal fortune, like 25% of his money. And you don't just, you know, you got money like that. You got $500 billion in the bank. I think that people are more than willing to just blow a couple of $1 million on a single day And
you can afford to lose a bit. Yeah.
you can afford to lose a bit. But to torch over $100 billion, I think that shows that he had virtuous intentions in the same way that President Trump did. Maybe you don't agree with all of his tactics or everything that he does in his life, but I think that's admirable.
Ooh, Tesla did tank a bit, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. And it's not just Tesla. I mean, it's all of his companies. It's all of his investments. I mean, of course, it will be a tax write-off, but I mean, there will be a tax write-off for Tesla if Tesla doesn't turn a profit. There will be a tax write-off for him personally. But I have to be honest, you get to that level of wealth and you've probably got everything structured so you're not paying taxes anyways. Like, because you make so much money, you have everything structured in such a way that everything is accounted for, everything is washed, everything is a write-off. And I truly don't think that he would do it for just a write-off.
Yeah, I agree. I just felt fake fight immediately. Just how over the top it all was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And Spetzel, you're right. Tesla was like around $200 prior to that. And then he supports President Trump and Tesla stock went up. But Tesla stock was already on the rise. It was already one of the most sought after stocks out there because like Tesla bros, like those people, they will back Elon no matter what. Like they think he's a genius and you're not going to be able to argue with them about it. The people who were like Democrats buying Teslas because they thought that they needed to take carbon credits or something like that, those people were just sheep and they were never like the hardcore Tesla bros. It's like people who like XRP, right? Or the people who like Bitcoin. Like those people are devoted to that one thing, whatever it might be, and they're always going to support it. But there's a lot of other irons in the fire, and Elon had gone that far in his life without sacrificing any of them. Now, it's the same with President Trump. I mean, he lived his entire life successfully. He overcame every obstacle that was thrown at him. They always would say that, he's on the verge of bankruptcy or he have to file for bankruptcy, but bankruptcy is a tool when you're a business owner at that level. You use that for protection so that people can't come and pick the corpse clean. And then you exit from bankruptcy and, you're leaner and stronger than you were before you went in. President Trump could have done anything with the twilight years of his life, but instead he decided to take on the biggest fight against the most formidable enemy and put it all on the line.
Very true, man.
Yeah. So anyways, that kind of takes me to the Elon conversation. So obviously we were talking in the chat, Jordan, about the statement that Elon made on X about President Trump being on the Epstein list. That's true in a sense, because obviously he's in the flight logs going from Teterboro Airport down to Palm Beach or whatever it is.
He flew like a handful of times, not on the Lolita Express. It was one of Epstein's other planes. Epstein was not there with him, and he just flew from like New York to Florida or something like that.
Yeah, you catch a free ride because it's already going that way. I mean, who wouldn't take a free private jet to go directly to their home? I think plenty of people would. And there was no history with Jeffrey Epstein at that point. And Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago. So, he's catching a free lift. And as soon as Elon posted that on X, I said, watch the Democrats suddenly clamor for the Epstein files. And it wasn't like 30 minutes later.
Kill the bill and release the Epstein files from @the Democrats.
The Democrats. It was so brilliant. I think it was one of the most calculated and stone cold moves that they could have played, because not only the Democrats' official account, but like the huge influencers, the Harry Sissons of the world, they all started asking for the Epstein files. And they haven't asked for the Epstein files once in the last decade. Like I've never in my wildest dreams did I think that the Democrats were going to put their sacred cow on the fire and demand the release just because they think Trump's name is going to be in there because they think Elon got a look at him when he was inside the government. It's incredible. It's incredible.
Hillary and Bill Clinton sitting there. Wait.
Yeah. Hold on, guys. Hold on.
wait.
Stop. You can't do that. You can't do that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Real quick before we continue, I have to just give a big shout out to the second sponsor of tonight's show, and that's going to be our friends at ChefIQ. Now, Jordan, I know you got a couple of these as well. They sent me over several of them. The ChefIQ is super awesome. It's like a meat thermometer, but it's not. It's more like a smart temperature sensing gadget for whatever kind of meat you want to cook, whether it's a ribeye or a pot roast or some fish, even vegetables, like anything that you want. You can see here, you type it into the app connects to the probe. You stick the probe in the meat. It tells you based upon the size and the type of meat and what kind of cook you want, exactly how long you need to cook it. It tells you if you need to flip it. It tells you when you need to take it out. It tells you how long to let it sit and mellow after you take it out of the oven or out of the grill. And it's quite literally the best steak I ever made. For a lot of people, cooking and figuring out how to cook this stuff is the hardest part. I mean, whether it's like barbecue or steaks or chickens or whatever it might be, people don't necessarily know how to cook. And this takes all of the guesswork out of cooking. What kind of meat did you make?
I made a couple sirloins tonight, but I cooked them a little too long. I like it medium rare, and one of them had no pink in it, so I could have used a ChefIQ.
You should have used a ChefIQ. And
I was rushing though. I'm like, shit, I gotta get on Zach's show tonight.
Oh my gosh. So it's very, very simple to use. It's a cooking sensor that goes off as soon as it's done. And it is a smart device, so it's connected to the app on your phone. It comes with that charging kit right there. You plug it in, and it syncs up with your phone, and you're ready to go. Now, another thing that's awesome about it is that because you put one in each of the cuts of meat that you're going to be doing, and if Lisa wants it medium well, like she does, and I want mine medium rare, then again, it tells me exactly what to do, and it continuously monitors, and then it predicts exactly when the food is going to be done. One of the worst parts for me about cooking, like on the grill, or if I'm cooking inside, is the constant guesswork of trying to figure out exactly when it's going to be ready. And I can always try to time it, but something goes wrong. And this way, I was able to just set it and forget it. So when the alert goes off, you get your steaks out, you let them chill for 5 minutes, and it's totally done. It is the world's smartest, simplest to use wireless thermometer, wireless cooking sensor, and they are having a flash sale right now. The flash sale is the reason you need to jump on this, because summer grilling season is here, and ChefIQ Sense makes you a grill master. It's also the perfect Father's Day gift. You can get them in packs of 1, 2, 3, or 4. And right now, during the flash sale, you'll get 15% off when you visit chefiq.com and use the promo code ALTERED. Once again, that's chefiq.com. Use the promo code ALTERED. You can download the ChefIQ app right now so that you can get a feel for it before you use it. And you can also use this QR code that you see on screen right now. But check it out, chefiq.com, promo code ALTERED, get 15% off. It's not going to last forever. And thank you to them.
Very nice.
Yes, very, very nice.
Very nice.
So have you seen the Marines coming into LA yet?
I have.
I'm pretty about this. What are your thoughts?
Look at them crane eaters.
So
Dude,
what are your thoughts?
They gotta be so excited.
I would imagine they are. I mean, 29 Palms is a miserable place, and they get to leave and go to LA, and that they're watching all of the BS that's going on the internet.
Oh, they gotta be so excited, because that, and for once, instead of going to a foreign country to defend some random land in a war they have no idea why they're really fighting, they're defending this country from the absolute ridiculous commie Marxists.
That's right.
So, oh, these Marines have to be so excited. And it's not like the enemy is very strong that they're up against.
No, they're not. They're totally weak. And I think that these trans Tifa maniacs have absolutely no idea what they're going to be up against. You know, I mean, like there's probably some people who served that are among their ranks. I mean, I've seen it before stated that, you know, somebody who used to be in the Army, somebody used to be in the Marines, and they use that as kind of a, I don't know, a trope to say that, oh, they don't support President Trump. I'm in the military and I don't support President Trump.
Are you talking about that one chick on video in Dallas?
I was just looking for the tweet.
Yeah, look for that tweet because she got discharged in 2020. So she was trying to give this appearance that she was active duty. She was not active duty. She was discharged in 2020. Some reports were calling her a Marine. She was not a Marine, from my understanding. She was in the National Guard. Discharged in 2020, long not in the military. And from my understanding as well, as in the Uniform Code of Military Justice, they can't be wearing any official military attire while at a political rally. So she was breaking laws doing that. Yeah, so Terrible here called her an active Marine.
Yeah.
She's not active. She wasn't a Marine.
Yeah, not at all.
Terrible got that one wrong. Her comment here was incorrect about this story, but you're 100% correct. She's totally using her service, which who knows how long she even served.
Mm-hmm.
She was a military intelligence analyst, so that shows you the level of IQ. I guess it's not that high to get in at least some level of intelligence work in the military, but she's not active duty. She's been out a while. She was National Guard, and she's just a freaking dumbass.
She's using her service as a disguise, basically, to pretend. 100%. Yes, to pretend that, you know, oh, she loves the country, but she can't serve a tyrant, and so she doesn't want to deploy. But yes, obviously not a Marine, and obviously not even a real soldier. But I want to hear what she says here. I also feel like this was done a couple of years ago, Jordan. Like there was another woman who had previously been in uniform in some capacity, and she no longer was, but she wore her uniform to a protest and also got found out as not being active duty and not even being what she purported to be. But here she is.
We are not pawns for Donald Trump's agenda. Why now? It's because the military was called upon innocent protesters. We, in our oath to serve, we serve the people of the United States. The Constitution, these constitutional rights are being stripped and just denied, and the military will not be pawns to that. So I'm calling.
Well, hold on just a second. I mean, the Constitution is the ultimate law of the land, right? But the president, as dictated by the Constitution, the founding documents of the United States of America upon which that constitutional foundation exists, he is the commander-in-chief. He's the chief executive of the United States. He's also the top of the command chain for the armed services. And the only thing that I feel that they're trying to make an argument in terms of constitutional rights is the rules surrounding the deployment of the National Guard or the control of the National Guard. But the power to federalize the National Guard is definitely on the books. And President Trump hasn't done anything wrong with commandeering the National Guard from California or from any other state, because it became necessary once Gavin Newsom allowed this issue to persist for 4 or 5 days? I mean, it was happening for several days before President Trump said, guess what? I'm going to go ahead and decree this because you've decided not to take any action.
Indeed.
Yeah, so I can't think of any constitutional rights that President Trump has taken away because, I mean, illegal aliens don't have constitutional rights. I mean, they have
That's
the right.
exactly what was coming to my mind. Do
Yeah.
non-citizens have constitutional protections?
Yeah, they have the right to habeas corpus, and they have the right to a form of due process. And all of these illegals that are being deported have already received that due process because they've already appeared before an immigration judge in an immigration court, and they've been found to have been here illegally and received deportation orders, or they've come here with a status, like, say, a visa, and then they've overstayed that visa. And so as they have gone outside of the boundaries of what that official document allowed them to do, then we have the right to automatically deport them. Or many of them have been found guilty of crimes, and they have active warrants because they've murdered people, or they've robbed people, or they've committed vehicular manslaughter, or just crashed a car driving drunk. And a sanctuary state like California refuses to work with ICE, refuses to honor the detainer orders, and then they just get to go back out into the society and do this all over again.
And if it was found that some kind of foreign country or foreign entity was helping to fund and organize these protests, could that then be considered in some type of act of war, which would then render any kind of marine or military usage? I mean, I guess that would get into some kind of murky gray area there, and there could be an argument made where bringing the military in to quell the insurrection, if it was funded and organized by a foreign entity, as you know, there could be more there.
And it looks like it is here. Let's finish up the last 8 seconds of this.
On the conscience of military members who served previously and now. We have a conscience, we have mind, and we have a duty and moral obligation to say no and resist evil. We are not pawns.
All right, now I want to show you this right here. Breakthrough news. It's interesting that you mentioned the funding of this organized insurrection by a foreign entity, because Breakthrough News is owned and operated and funded by a foreign socialist billionaire by the name of Neville Roy Singh. Neville Roy Singh lives in, I believe, Shanghai, China. He's got overt business.
He's from Chicago.
Okay, so he's from Chicago, but he's living outside of the country. He has connections to the Chinese Communist Party and all of these other leftist organizations, like the PSL. Okay.
My camera died. Hold on.
Okay.
Keep talking.
Okay, so he's funding all of these leftist organizations, and he's doing it from outside the country. Now, I think it was like the House Oversight Committee or the some other security committee, they've demanded a document dump from him on his financials and what it is that he's putting money into. And that's good to know that he's from Chicago, because that means that he is an American citizen, or at least he had American citizenship. So the Congress can demand that stuff from him. And if he doesn't provide it willingly, then they can issue him a subpoena and force him to come back to the United States. Much like George Soros, now as an American citizen, funding all of these left-wing organizations, there is a greater propensity for criminal culpability to be assigned to somebody who has jurisdiction within the United States of America. Somebody who's like, a foreign billionaire who is using dark money projects and 501c4s to funnel into these left-wing organizations, that's a little bit different. But George Soros and Neville Roy Singh, that's something that we could actually get on. And hang on just a second. I'm gonna head on over to Breakthrough News, because I want to see what else they're saying. I don't think that it's a coincidence that it's Breakthrough News who broke the news of this supposed American soldier who can't bring herself to serve under Donald Trump. So here's their Twitter.
We're gonna rock the webcam. That's okay.
Okay. 173,000 followers over here.
Yeah, I was looking into this guy during my stream a couple hours ago, and he has a net worth of around $1 billion, and he started some tech company that does IT consulting work, and he did a lot of work with the CCP. He is an open Marxist, Maoist, communist. His mom was from Cuba.
Okay, so that's where I was getting the foreign angle.
Yeah, and he does a lot with, he's just like open communist, China loving, down with America type person. So you've got, I didn't know he was behind Breakthrough News, but that makes a lot of sense. And then you also have the heiress to the Walmart fortune, one of the heiresses who is promoting this No Kings protest.
Christie.
Yep. She's been running full page ads in newspapers all across the country this whole week, promoting the No Kings anti-Trump protest, which makes sense because Walmart's whole platform is on importing cheap shit from foreign countries. So makes total sense that she'd be anti-ICE and anti-Trump. And then Anna Paulina Luna put out a tweet. Oh, I think it was about this Singh guy. Okay. There's him. Yeah. Of course, you have the Soros theories and things of that nature. I'm trying to think of what other countries might be involved in this. But I really think a lot of this is China. And I put out a tweet today on a few reasons why I think China is doing this now of all times, because over the past few weeks there's been a huge military buildup. I just sent you the tweet in the chat here on StreamYard. So
I'm going to play this clip here that they published, which is allegedly another Marine who is criticizing ICE and defending the Constitution. What's interesting about Breakthrough News is that they use a lot of reporting tactics that are similar to the kinds of propaganda that explicitly come out of China or the Cold War. Like, as an example, in Vietnam, when they would use American soldiers who had been kidnapped as POWs to record announcements that they would be played to American soldiers, talking about how evil the imperialist United States was and how good they were being treated by the Viet Cong. And obviously the message here is that, you know, just like this woman over here, we have all of these military people who are so in love with the United States and want to defend the Constitution. And this is an example of why we should be following people like this and not President Trump. So here we go.
Putting myself at risk while you guys stand.
I think that's a girl.
Oh, you hear that lisp?
Yeah, that's a transgender. Listen to the pitch.
And in hypocrisy to the flag, standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, allowing ICE agents in Whittier, not taking your oath for the Constitution seriously. I have to be worried about my father going to work on a day-to-day basis. I am willing to put my name, my identity at risk because I believe in what I took an oath for. 6 years ago, my unit was sent to the border for a similar situation, and now a sister unit has been sent to LA. They have been deployed to Los Angeles. This is something that isn't right and should not be turned a blind eye on. You know, it should not be stood for the Pledge of Allegiance. I took my oath seriously. I'm here today to stand for my people, my father, and my friends and my community.
So his dad was an illegal immigrant, which means he was probably not a citizen, which is why he probably joined the military, was to get citizenship. And he probably just did 4 years and got out. He probably did the bare minimum.
He might have also gotten that sex reassignment surgery paid for by the United States taxpayers. All right. So Tasha Rose says, check this out. They definitely have big donors. This is Mobilizing for No Kings. Okay, we'll check that out in just a sec.
Yeah, that's the Mobilize website that the same hands-off protest was using to organize and get people signed up and RSVP'd.
Okay.
So I don't know when that mobilize.us website was made, but I know they used it a few months ago for those hands-off protests, and now they're using it for No King. So it looks like the branding of that mobilize.us site looks exactly like copy and pasted from the BLM branding years ago and the Act Blue branding. Same shit.
All right. So you want to break this down for us, Jordan?
So this is what China's been doing over the past just couple of months. Click on that first photo to the left. Let's go through the photos. So right next to Beijing, China is building a massive military command center. This thing is like 10 times the size of the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. And huge military command center. They theorize it has underground bunkers to protect from even nuclear blasts and all kinds of stuff. So
sure,
they're building an absolutely massive military headquarters.
Okay.
Next slide, please, sir. And China has also been building over the past couple of months these giant ferries. And these ferries, there's kind of a couple step process here. So the first ferry is the lander, and that's the one with the bridge. And this ferry system kind of connects like Lincoln Logs almost. They connect like a seafaring train. So the first lander comes up, puts this 300-foot bridge down, so any vehicles can completely skip the sandy portions of the beach. They can go right into the harder portions behind the beach, the harder land. So perfect for deploying tanks and armored vehicles, things like that. So the first lander comes up, sets that bridge down. The bigger ferries come behind it, link up to it, and then all the personnel, people, vehicles, goods can be deployed onto land. So perfect if China was thinking about invading Taiwan, right?
Yep.
China's been building a ton of those barges. And then today, for the first time ever, China has deployed 2 of its carrier strike groups to the Western Pacific, all around Taiwan.
Yep.
So there's been a lot of buildup. And I would not be shocked if these protests in America are being funded, in part at least, by China. Maybe you have some Soros-aligned groups and others as well. But I wouldn't be shocked if China was involved and it's being done so we can just be distracted all summer with internal affairs while they do whatever military stuff they want to do. Maybe take a shot at Taiwan or something.
Well, that would make a lot of sense, and I could absolutely see that happening. And, of course, even if George Soros and the Chinese Communist Party are not aligned on every aspect of their plans, certainly they would have no problem working together if it would allow them to distract us to a greater degree and effectuate a variety of different goals. All right, you guys, it is 10:29, so we are going to be closing out the show. I'm also going to be sending you guys over to DPH, which is going to be starting any moment. If you're watching the show and you don't want to go over there, you just need to click opt out. It's in the chat. It is there. I guarantee it. Jordan, when's the next time you're going to be live?
I will be live on Friday, Maha News, here on Badlands, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, Friday afternoon. Co-host Nate and I covering the latest of what's going on with Maha, what's going on with RFK Jr. And then I'll be live on my own Rumble channel Friday evening.
So I accidentally just rated DPH to DPH, which is hilarious. But now I just rated Altered State to DPH. All right. So I'll be live tomorrow at 5, guys. There is no taking it back. Adel's out of town. So I'll be live on my channel at 5, and then I'll be live on Friday at 9, and then here at 10:30 on Liberty Den. So enjoy yourselves. Thank you for hanging out. Jordan, thank you again. And we will see you guys on the flip side. Here we go.